What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. As promised, we are here today to do the Q&A of my move from California to Arizona. So if it's your first time here and you had no idea that I had moved to Arizona, or you had no idea that I moved from California to Arizona, welcome to my channel. Welcome to a little bit of behind the scenes, if you will. Are we loving my room? I recently showed you guys the wallpaper. I hadn't shown you guys this canvas back here. It is very, very pretty, but this is my sanctuary. And for today, I wanted to actually let you in where I am because this is where I feel the most comfortable and this is where I am me. If you have been here before, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your support and thank you so much for being here. I finally decided to do this video because I now feel very comfortable at answering whatever questions you guys may have. 2 videos ago, I gave you an opportunity to drop your questions, and also on my broadcast channel on Instagram, I dropped my little message and I said drop your questions here and I will be filming this Q&A as soon as possible. Well, I got some responses from you guys and I'm here to answer them all. So I'm gonna try to go through them as quickly as possible, but also giving you guys as much detail as possible regarding what you guys want to know. So a little backstory, I have officially been in Arizona for 1 year. And it has been an amazing transition for me coming from California to Arizona. I have absolutely loved that I've done this for myself. I love where I am. I love the life that I'm building. I love the people that I have met. And I love everything that I have. All credit for everything amazing that has happened in my life definitely goes to God because He is the one that has been the light at the end of the tunnel. He has been the one that has shined that pavement and that road that is less traveled. And I decided to follow it and I decided to follow my instinct. And when I put it under prayer, my prayer was answered and He said, here you go. We're gonna get started right away. If you guys have any more questions or any life you want to speak into me, thank you. You can drop them down below in this video and I will do my very best to answer them as soon as I have the time to. So we're gonna get started. This was my first time asking questions on the broadcast channel, by the way. So I'm just gonna get started in order and then we'll go from there. First question is, I wanna make the move from OKC to Arizona. How was apartment hunting? Any do's and don'ts from your side? So for me, apartment hunting was pretty easy because while I was in California, I did all of the research online. By research, I'm talking about reviews. Those are the most important things that you want to read up on the apartment that you're going to be visiting or that you're thinking of living in, because most people will actually review their apartment building and they'll let you know the good and the bad. Most of the time, people love to share the bad. And that's a good thing when it comes to you apartment hunting because you're able to see if, for example, there's a cockroach problem, if there's a homelessness problem, if there is a problem with management and them not answering the requests that you may have for your apartment when it comes to maintenance or whatnot. Parking is definitely a thing that you should be looking into. Coming from California, parking was one of those things where I just knew I wanted to make sure that I had a place to park. Now here in Arizona, because of how hot it gets, it's very important that you look into an apartment building that has a covered parking structure. I say that because your car, baby, is gonna be scorching hot the 4 months that it's extremely hot out here. And you truly want to make sure that you're not just taking care of your car aesthetically from the outside and from the sun damaging it, but also that you have an opportunity to have covered space. Of course, if that's important for you, do make sure to ask everything and anything about fees. The people that work at the apartment places, it is their job to sell you the apartment. It is their job to sell it to you so pretty that you want to stay in that apartment, but make sure that you do research or that you very well know what are the things that you for sure want and what you don't want. I will say every apartment that I looked into had a washer and a dryer within the apartment, so that was a for sure good thing for me. Ceiling fans were also very important because again, you are going to be using that AC and you want to be able to have ceiling fans so that the air can continue to flow and you use a little bit less energy from the AC. As far as apartment living, I personally do not love the first floor because I feel like the first floor is easier to just have access to in any emergency and in anything that could potentially happen. Rodents also have easier access on the first floor. Not that they can't get through the vents everywhere else or anywhere else, but I just feel like the first floor typically tends to be a little more dirty. Also, when looking into apartments, for me, it was very important that it was an enclosed apartment building and that it had an elevator because, baby, there are some apartment buildings that are up to 4 or 5 floors and have no elevators. Can you imagine putting up your groceries to the 5th, 4th, third, second level in the scorching Arizona heat at 113 degrees? Yeah, no, we are not doing that. So for me, it was very important that there was an elevator. It was very important that it was an enclosed building so that it could also have AC within. And again, the reviews. Go for the reviews every single time. If you're gonna come out here and check out some apartments, already come with a list of the ones that you for sure want to check out and then go to those first. Hopefully that answered your question. How much do you save overall by living there? 10%, 20%, not asking for actual numbers if that's too personal. Where do you see the most savings in your life? Food, housing. Also, how do you like the culture? This is like 3 questions in one, so thank you for asking all of that. I haven't actually done the math to see how much I'm saving as far as percentage goes. The way that I can paint the picture for you is that depending on where you choose to live in Arizona and depending on where you're coming from, you are going to get a lot more for your buck. I didn't downgrade, nor did I start paying less for my rent. I actually stayed within what I was already comfortable paying back in California and here so that then I can upgrade my lifestyle, if you will, or upgrade the amenities that I was getting. A lot of the apartment buildings have beautiful resort style buildings like a gym. They have communities, they have pickleball courts, they have basketball courts, they have full-on gyms. They have a lot of more things that they provide that apartments maybe in California wouldn't for the same amount that you would be paying out there. So I don't necessarily see it as quote unquote savings. I will say where I notice it the most, I guess, is in gas. When I go and pump gas, I typically fill up my tank with like $50, $55 if I'm really like below E. And out there, I would probably pay $60 to $65 for my gas tank. So there, I have definitely seen a huge difference. Food is just as expensive here as it is out there. Taxes are lower, so you pay a little less in taxes in retail. So also when it comes to, for example, your paycheck, when you're getting deductions of your state tax, you get less taxes deducted than you do out in California. Those are things that you may want to look into depending on where you're going to work or where you currently work or what your budget is. Everybody's budget is obviously different. I have noticed the most savings in gas. Food, I think like it's the same because groceries are typically very expensive anyways, and so is eating out. And housing as well. Electricity is expensive because we have the AC on 24/7. Trash, all of the other expenses are typically the same. You can definitely get a house, for example, if you are looking into buying for a lot cheaper, if that's the route that you want to go to. But if you're moving from out of state to an apartment, you can either choose something that is more comfortable for your budget, or you can stay at the budget where you were at, where you're coming from, and just get something a lot better that comes with a lot more. How do I like the culture? I actually really enjoy Arizona for what it is. I didn't come out here expecting LA culture to be in Arizona. I say that because if you're from LA, or if you've been in LA, or if you've partied in LA, or if you grew up in LA, you just know that there is no place like LA. And so in moving, I personally didn't move expecting where I come from to be the same here, because I feel like that would not be very open-minded of myself. I came out here because the culture attracted me for what it is. So here, things are a lot slower. Now, I will say it depends in the area that you live in. It depends on the lifestyle that you're looking for. I am not a party goer. I am not out there in the clubs. I am not out there in the nightlife. I'm not personally in that season of my life where I want to be out at night all the time. I haven't really experienced that, so I wouldn't be able to answer that for you. The culture is different. Every area that you live in, whether it's the West Valley, the East Valley, whatever city you live in, there is going to be a difference. And for a lot of people, it is a culture shock, but it just depends on what you're looking for. How do you allow yourself to reset or decompress after a long day at work or a chaotic day in general? I have been trying new techniques because my previous options are not doing it for me anymore. I need new ideas. I allow myself to decompress and reset by shutting everything off. And what I mean by that is literally being in silence. I like to clean in silence. I like to put a wallpaper in silence. I like to cook in silence. I like to just be in silence. I do a lot of talking in my job, and I deal with a lot of people in my job at my 9 to 5, but also here on social media. Me answering comments, engaging, talking to the camera, that is still me giving people energy. Going live, for example, is something that I stopped doing as often as I used to do it because it takes a lot of energy from me. And so what I've done for myself is literally just do activities in silence. No music, no background noise, no TV, no nothing. Just me, my thoughts, and whatever activity I'm doing. And that has allowed me to decompress fully because I'm not adding anything else to my brain. Rather, I'm just letting it reset. So hopefully that one helps. How have you managed being away from family while still trying to be connected and check in with them? So I actually check in with my family for the most part on a daily basis. There are times where I just have so much that I'm carrying with myself and my life and maybe my own emotions that there are times where I just kind of disconnect from everyone and everything. Managing being away but still staying connected to them, it's really easy when you check in on a regular basis. Seeing how my loved ones are doing and checking in with them when I have the capacity and space to hold space for them as well, and knowing my own limits, right? So I am somebody that is already and has always been very independent. I don't know if it's because I'm the second child. I don't know if it's because I've just always been like this my whole life, but I am really good alone. Like, I am very good as a lone wolf. And being away from family for me truly isn't hard. Like, I understand that emotionally speaking, for a lot of people, they feel like there is something missing. I don't feel like that. And again, I don't know if it's because I grew up very independently, especially emotionally. Like, I have always been very independent. I have always been left alone to do things for myself. I have always been the one that, don't worry, like, Amy's okay, Amy's got it. And so I've almost grown up to be the person for myself that is there for me no matter what. So the best way to just answer your question is really just by connecting with them, like hopping on a call, texting them, checking in, and just seeing how everyone's doing, you know? That's really it. Like, it's just a matter of taking the time to have a conversation with each individual because they're all adults at this point, and just connecting with them, right? With my family. Do you get recognized in coffee shops? You know how you were doing your local coffee shop series? So I have gotten recognized at coffee shops out here in Arizona, which has been really cool. I do want to say, for those of you guys that are from here, or even if you're not, every time I recommend a coffee shop, I want you to know that it truly is because I like the coffee shop. I am not getting paid from these coffee shops or places to go and review them or to go and speak really great of them so that people can go spend their hard-earned money in. Like, if I share with you guys something that I like, is because I truly genuinely like it and I continue to go back to that coffee shop time and time again. There's plenty of coffee shops that I've been to, and it's been really cool, you know, to experience each coffee shop and each individual or each owner and each place for what it has and what it comes with. It's truly just been amazing because I personally love coffee. You guys know that I've done a series of Hay Café en la Casa where I created a bunch of different coffee recipes here in my house because I truly enjoy making them, but also because it's a way to save money, and also it's a way to know what you're putting into each coffee that you're drinking. I truly enjoy going to different coffee shops and seeing what each one has to offer, but I also have my moments of like me just wanting to make coffee here in the house. What do you love about LA that AC doesn't have, and vice versa? So LA has culture. That's it. Like, not that's it, but I mean, like, that's everything, right? LA has culture and will forever have culture. And with culture comes amazing and delicious food, a variety of food, and a variety of places to go and try different foods. So that's something that Arizona doesn't fully have, and I don't think it will ever get there, because you can literally go to LA and taste a dish from anywhere in the world. Whereas in Arizona, you can come here and taste the dish from anywhere in the world. However, Arizona does have a bunch of really good places for food, and there is a lot of really good chefs at different places. So there is still some diversity. There is still some places that are really good when it comes to the food, but you just have to know the spots, and they're not everywhere. In LA, whether it's LA County, Orange County, or wherever you go, you can find a place for Chinese food, for Thai food, for Vietnamese food, for sushi, Korean barbecue, Ethiopian food, Cuban food, Mexican food. Like, you will find a spot anywhere and everywhere. Here is a lot more selective, I guess, depending in the area that you're at. What I love about Arizona that LA doesn't have is the skies out here. The skies out here is just so beautiful to watch every single day. It does not matter what time of the year it is. The sky, for the most part, is literally so clear. You don't have a bunch of buildings that you're looking over. You can be driving on the freeway and literally see blue skies and clouds that look almost hand painted. Like, it's just so beautiful that you literally just have to look up and pay attention to the beauty that surrounds it. Do you ever regret moving to Arizona? Till this day, I do not. Till this day, it has been an amazing experience being out here. It has been tremendously rewarding in every way. And I currently don't see myself living anywhere else. What were your expectations moving to Arizona, and have those expectations succeeded? I truly didn't have expectations moving out here. I will say Arizona was not a place that I ever saw myself moving to. If you would have asked me a year prior to me moving, I would have told you, like, girl, ain't nobody going to Arizona. Like, what am I going to do out there? There's nothing to do. I only said that based on what I knew of Arizona, which wasn't a lot, and also where I would go and visit family, because they would always complain that even though they loved it, there wasn't a lot to do. Well, once I moved out here, I realized that they're in the outskirts of nowhere to be found, which is why there was nothing to do. If you move to the central areas, whether it's the West Valley or the East Valley, if you move to an area that has things to do, and you're in a place where it's drivable somewhere, where it won't take you more than 30 minutes to get to, there's plenty of things to do. I have been doing activities out here in Arizona and getting to know the state since I moved out here. Literally, there is something to do every single day. I didn't have expectations moving out here when it came to actual Arizona. It has definitely exceeded everything that I could have thought of, because a lot of the times we put certain limits on ourselves and then God's like, think bigger because I have bigger for you. And so there is no limit to him. Therefore, there has been no limit to what I've been able to do out here, which has been amazing, to be honest with you. Now that you've experienced Arizona for a year without thinking about it too much, where could you envision yourself settling down and raising a family? Arizona, LA, or somewhere else? I haven't lived anywhere else, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about anywhere else, but for sure, Arizona is a beautiful place where I would raise a family. 100%. Arizona is very family oriented. The areas that I like to frequent are very much family oriented. In the weekends, if I go on a walk, if I go to a coffee shop, if I go somewhere, for the most part, there are full families going to coffee shops and going to eat. Kids, dogs, and all, like full on families. And I like that. Like, I truly believe in being in places and being surrounded by people that have a lifestyle that you want to live as well. And so it's been really refreshing to come out and really see the unity and family out here that maybe where I was in LA, I didn't get to see. Definitely, I would raise a family here. Now, I'm not closed down to moving anywhere else, and I'm not closed down to moving back to LA eventually if that happens. But right here, right now, without thinking of anybody else, without considering anybody else, my answer would be Arizona. For how long did you do research on Arizona before deciding you wanted to move? Kind of crazy, and this is why I know that this has been God led the whole way. I came in May of 2024 to a camping trip, and on that trip I had a conversation with one of my cousins, and he was like, why don't you just try to look for a job out here and move? And I was like, what do you mean try to look for a job? And he's like, yeah, like every job that's available out here typically is like online or whatever, so just apply and like figure something out. And I was like, you're crazy, but whatever. He has been trying to get me to move out to Arizona for years now. So I actually did that. And I put it under prayer before actually looking for places to apply to. And I asked God, if this move is from you, please let me know. And just make sure that everything happens effortlessly. And I applied for a job and I eventually got the interview, and they said they needed me to move within a period of 30 to 45 days. And it was then that I literally did all the research, looked for places to live, came out here like weeks before I had to start my job. And I had 5 different apartment buildings. I went to go see all 5 of them in one day. I picked my apartment. I applied for my apartment. I got accepted for my apartment. I went back and it was all said and done, you know? So the research wasn't long. It literally was within months that I got the idea, prayed about it, went into it, and actually did the applying and the research and everything, and then applied and came in here, literally. So 3 months, less than 3 months, it was quick. Do you ever want to come back to LA? Do you think you'll be staying there long term? Do I ever want to go back to LA? Right now, I'm very comfortable where I'm at. I really love where I'm at. I really love the lifestyle that I live. I really love the friendships that I currently have. And I just really love life. Like, I am truly enjoying myself. And just like anybody else, I have my ups and downs, and I have feelings, you know, and I have emotions that I go through and that I navigate. But currently, right now, like, I'm really happy with life. I'm very happy and grateful of where I am and what I've been able to accomplish just overall at my 31 years of age. And I'm really happy more than anything that I'm good with myself, like more than my outside world. I'm really happy to just be where I am in spirit with me. Does that make sense? So, do I think of staying long term here? I do, but I also, like, I'm really up for allowing God to do what he wants to do in my life rather than setting a plan for myself and having to stick through that plan. Because when I do that, I don't allow him to work. I am just stubborn on the one plan that I have. And there could be all these other possibilities on another road, but because I'm not willing to pivot and I'm stubborn on this one, then I'm not really getting everything that I'm supposed to be getting out of this or out of life, right? Hopefully that answered your question. Why Arizona? Have you regretted? Why was the reason of your mom and away from your family? Why Arizona? I think I answered that question already, earlier with the other question. And maybe you meant to say, what was the reason to be away from your family? My decision didn't have anything to do with my family, thankfully. Like, my decision was more about myself and about knowing that at the time that I made that decision, I was single, I didn't have kids, and if I wanted to make a move such as moving states, it would be the perfect time for me to do it because I wouldn't be moving my kids' schools and I wouldn't have to consider anybody else's feelings for this move. So more than anything, it was for myself to continue to develop myself, to live something new, to see what it's like to start fresh completely in a new place where you don't know anybody, where you don't know the possibilities that can happen. And though that can bring a lot of fear into people's minds and lives and uncertainty, I was more excited for all of the possibilities that this was going to bring rather than what wasn't going to happen for me. I definitely do not regret it. How did you make friends in Arizona so fast? Any recommendations on finding new friends specifically in Phoenix? I think I made friends so fast because I truly believe that like attracts alike. I will say I've put myself out there. In fact, I've made videos regarding this before where the same way that you date for a man or a woman or a partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend is the same way that I took on dating for friendships. I went on multiple friend dates. I met people online. And by online, I mean like on TikTok or social media where they DM me or I message them. I met people through groups. Like, I started to do activities literally the first Friday that I was out here. I went to a sunset yoga class in Scottsdale or in Paradise Valley, and it was an amazing experience. But just putting myself out there and just starting to talk to different women, that allowed me to get out of my shell, but also to just start to get to know people. From there, I met people in different places and went on different friend dates, right? To see if I was compatible with them. Not every friend made it, or not every girl made it, obviously, because we weren't compatible with each other, and that's okay. Just like when you're dating in relationships, you don't mesh with everybody and your personalities don't align with everybody, people's priorities don't align. You also get to learn and see whether or not somebody is truly ready to invest in a friendship or not. And I'm not somebody that just invests in people just because I'm hungry for a connection. I've learned to be okay with being alone as long as I felt fulfilled and as long as I was showing up for myself, because I don't want breadcrumbs from anybody, right? Like, I don't want breadcrumbs from a friendship or from a relationship. So with that said, I know the value that I bring into relationships and into friendships. And I also have a standard for friendships that I am not willing to compromise for anyone else, because I know the type of friend that I am and I know how much I invest into people. And I expect the same thing in return. I expect to be considered. And as far as recommendations on how to make friends, I think it's very important to know yourself and to know what you're looking for, to know what type of connections you want to make, and then make the first attempt, make the first move. If you connect with somebody, message them first, right? Like, you, I'm sure, can see people online. I messaged a few girls that I didn't get responses from, and that was okay. I was okay with those things happening, or me being quote unquote rejected, if you will, because that just automatically lets me know that that just wasn't the person for me, even if from maybe the outside that's what it looked like. So I think I've been able to make such good friends because I connected with one of them, and that one person came with such a wholesome and beautiful circle that I was able to then get connected to her friends through her. And they've taken me in, they've accepted me, and they've shown up for me. They've made a very safe space for me where I feel very comfortable, where I also feel like we are talking to each other and engaging with each other And it's not about this one person that brought us together. Yes, that's been beautiful, but it's also been able to cultivate different relationships with each individual outside of that one individual that connected us, you know? I know you don't need a college degree for a lot of jobs, but most corporate jobs do ask for a degree. My question is, how did you get your corporate position without a college degree? I'm only asking because I have found it difficult to get a corporate position without a degree. So I have personally been in corporate for the last 12 years of my life. With that said, with this job specifically, I had all of this experience and all of these positions that I have had in the past that I think allowed me to have this job. I also believe that, God did his big one and I appreciate it so much. But I'm also very knowledgeable in a lot of things, specifically when it comes to the workforce. I've done so many things that my experience spoke for itself. My interview spoke for itself. My confidence spoke for itself. So I think it really depends on what you're providing, the background that you have in the area that you're trying to get into, and maybe references. I know that I have really strong references as well because of the places that I have worked at in the past. And so that helps too. What has living in Arizona taught you about yourself? How has it positively challenged you to become an even better version of yourself? Ooh, Beth, that's a really good question. Arizona has taught me so much more courage than ever before. I have been so courageous in even making the move, creating new friendships, putting myself out there, being the one to make the first move when it comes to like wanting to connect with like-minded individuals and friendships, and really just becoming even a better content creator, if you will. Continuing to explore different places by myself. I've been to Flagstaff, I've been to Sedona, I've been to Page, I've been to so many places here in Arizona, a lot by myself, others with people. And it has challenged me to really just get out of sometimes the shyness that comes with me, that you guys might not even think of it because you don't get to see it, but there's still shyness that comes with me in doing things that I may not know how to do, or in doing something new, or in doing something alone, right? So it's definitely just shown me how courageous and how resilient I am, and how great I am at jumping through hurdles. Because it doesn't matter what has been sent to me to either destroy me or to stop me on the tracks, or to, let me know that this is not the way. I've been able to pivot. I've been able to ask for guidance. I've been able to ask for help. I've been able to be surrounded by beautiful people. I've been able to challenge myself in so many ways that it's definitely allowed me to become the best version of myself. The last question is, how did you learn to find your own peace and acceptance living alone, away from your family and friends? I love it when you say how you always love your own company. I learned to find my own peace through therapy. I learned to find my own peace with being okay with my flaws. I learned to find my own peace by accepting myself fully and accepting how imperfect I am, accepting that as much as I know so many things, there's also so many things that I don't know, that I'm not always going to be right, and that the point isn't to be right. The point is to continue to learn. The point is to continue to develop myself, to be of assistance to others, to be a village to others, to be a villager, so that I can continue to help my community that's close to me in the best ways that I can. I found that acceptance through therapy and through healing my trauma and through healing the things that I thought were supposed to shame me and I was supposed to feel ashamed for, in fully owning them, in forgiving myself, and being able to forgive others, and holding space and realizing that everyone is in their own path, going at their own speed for whatever purpose God has for them, and showing people that compassion, but also showing that to myself and being graceful in my own journey, and knowing that even if I'm not going fast enough for somebody else, or even sometimes for myself, because we're our biggest critics, that I'm still moving, that I'm still crawling even when I'm not running, that even a step back can be a redirection to another place that comes with so many more blessings. I have a lot of peace through that, because it's also allowed me to connect with other like-minded individuals that I found out here, and people that are also looking to be the best version of themselves. So it's been an amazing journey. It's truly been everything for me. Like, I 100% love it. None of you guys asked about the weather, which I thought was really funny, because the one thing that I heard the most when people started to know that I was moving out to Arizona was, it's so hot out there. You can't even live. You're going to have a horrible time. You're going to hate it, and you're going to want to move out here back. Watch, you're going to come and you're going to remember me because of A, B, C, and D. And no, I have officially been here 12 months. I have lived through a whole summer, and I don't hate it. The summer is rough. It is. It is hot. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I'm loving the summer. But I am somebody that truly believes in seasons. I also made this conscious decision to move out here because I wanted to. Not because I needed to, not because I was following someone, not because they asked me to, not because I needed to do this for somebody else. I did it because I wanted to. And so in making a decision for myself, I also hold myself responsible, and I also love that I did it. Because even if at some point I decide to go back to LA or I go somewhere else, I still very much full-heartedly love Arizona. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have its bad things. I truly believe that every place comes with its own things that you're going to have to juggle through, and that you're going to have to live through, and that you're going to have to overcome. However, I truly believe that I'm here for a reason. And every reason that continues to come up, I truly feel that it's God leading. So it has been amazing. It has been an amazing experience. I truly have enjoyed it so much. I truly love where I am, and I truly love the company that I have. I am not too far away from home. I go home very often, and that's been great too. I love to be able to miss my people too, because I also love to be by myself a lot of the times. It's very refreshing to go home and spend time with family and friends, but then come back to my place, to what feels like mine and nobody else's, right? To what feels like my space that I call my home and my own. These were all very fun to answer, and very fun, and I think introspective. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer these questions for you. Hopefully you guys got your answers. And if you are looking to move out here, hopefully you love it too. I've definitely loved it. And there's plenty of things that you can research online on Google. And then once you do move out here on TikTok, there's plenty of people that love to share their life here in Arizona. And so there's definitely things that you'll find as far as doing and as far as activities. So until the next one, thank you guys for being here. I love you. I'm going to leave it here.